They say we've lost our way, but waiting patiently in everything is truth. How can we be the change? How can we start this change? Let's take a step back from the brink, look into each other's eyes, reach out for that central link and organize. Reaching the rays of hope, guiding the ways to go. The central link, the central link, the central link.
Please join us on the Central Link.
Welcome to the Central Link, a weekly television show sharing all the exciting good news of what's happening in York County.
It is so true. There is so much really good stuff happening in York County, and we never hear about it. You know, it goes on in our neighborhoods, and that's all the further it goes. So we want to share it with the whole county.
Well, I'm excited that we're going to be looking at local farms, local food, local businesses.
We really want to hear from you too. What is happening in your neighborhood? What are you excited about? What is benefiting us locally here?
So here we are, the Central Link. You know, we trust that we will be able to bring you something of great value and that you'll join us every week.
Hi, I'm Andrew Fake with the Central Link, and I'm here seated beside John Darby. He's a good friend of mine, and he's involved with the Horn Farm Center. And John, would you like to tell us what exactly the Horn Farm Center is and what they do?
Yeah, the Horn Farm Center for Agricultural Education is a nonprofit organization located in Pelham Township in York County. And it's dedicated to showcasing the past, present, and future of York County agriculture. We have a pretty big educational aspect to our facility, and we also have community garden plots and our newest venture, the Incubator Farms Project, which is allowing small-scale farmers to kind of get started on the land there.
Are there community garden plots still available this season?
Yeah, we have a limited number left. It's nearing the end of that sign-up time, so definitely give us a call if you're interested.
You said education. So if someone is just getting started in farming and gardening, what kinds of educational opportunities are available at the Horn Farm?
Well, we've got the community garden plots, which is a good step for people that just want to get started and get their hands in the dirt. And there's resources there to help them out with that. As a farm manager, I'm on duty that can answer questions and give tips. We have workshops that are coming up throughout the season, beginner gardening workshops, some more advanced. March 24th, we have a garden design class hosted by Susquehanna Farm School, which is going to cover everything from how to turn your grass into a garden, or how to make your existing garden a little more efficient and improve upon it, seed selection, site selection. Kind of called the whole game. It's an 8-hour class. It's pretty in-depth.
Okay, great. And someone with no experience whatsoever can get started.
Yeah,
with that?
it's a perfect class for that. We're going to cover everything from, you know, bare minimum, what do you do now? You know, you decide you want to start growing some of your own food. What's your first step? The whole way up to harvesting and handling and everything like that. Yeah.
Good. Now, what are you doing this time of year?
Well, I mean, I'm spending a lot of time planning out for the spring and just now getting started in the field with actually getting beds ready to plant in. And you know, a lot of the winter was spent with garden design and planning out, looking at seed selection and what I did last year and what worked and what didn't, and you know, things I want to change for this year. So.
Oh, very good. We actually took a trip to a local seed company, Landreth Seed in New Freedom. We were there last week doing some filming. Perhaps you'd like to take a look.
Yeah.
Welcome to Landreth Seed. This is America's oldest seed house. It was established in 1784, and it is now celebrating its 228th birthday. It's the fourth oldest U.S. corporation. This company introduced America to the zinnia, to the white-fleshed potato, to the tomato in 1820. It is America's company. Today, it still sells seed throughout this nation and around the world. The company was blessed to have retained a collection of its original seed packets from the 1920s, 1930s, and 1940s. We have made about 130 of those original seed packets into illustrated packets, and the detail is something we should all be proud of as Americans. Landreth receives most of its seed from growers that are in the Pacific Northwest and along the West Coast. There are a few exceptions to that rule, and that is okra usually comes from the Gulf Coast states, and a lot of lima beans are grown in Florida. And this unassuming little document is the seed catalog that forever changed the way American seed houses produce their seed catalogs. Until 1848, seed catalogs were just a simple listing. The Landreths decided that a seed catalog also had to be a teaching tool, and they increased it from an 8 or 9 page list of seeds to a 70 or 80 page educational resource for farmers and gardeners. To do 3,000 packets takes 4 people 8 hours. He can do it in an hour and a half, 3,000 packets.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and I'm the newest member at Landreth Seed. This is our newest seed collection. If you call us, we can order it over the phone, no problem at all.
You can already begin to start to plant. You can start your cabbages, your cauliflowers, your broccolis. There are great herbs that you can start this time of the year, like arugula and spinach. You can put spinach in the ground and start having baby spinach in about another 4 to 6 weeks. These are wonderful things to start this time of the year, and we highly recommend that people put things in the ground as soon as they can.
Hi, I'm Kevin Tyler, Executive Producer of the Central Link. The program needs support from viewers like you, sponsors, and advertisers to stay on the air. We are a nonprofit public show. If you are a local company looking to target a specific audience that buys local, supports local initiatives, and good green eco activities, and want to be known in this way, this is where you need to target your marketing and advertising budget. Space is limited, so give us a call. Thank you very much.
Welcome to the Central Link, a new TV program that will air on White Rose Community Television, reaching almost 100,000 York County homes. Our program will be unique and dedicated to the local area. This weekly show will cover all the good, sustainable, healthy, and beneficial things this area has to offer, with topics such as organic growing and living, gardening, health, better living, and various education on these topics and more, inspiring one person or one family at a time that there are better ways available and teaching them how. Events, products, local markets, and activities, just to name a few, will also be highlighted. With support from the community, sponsors, donors, and grants, we know this program can strive to make local change for many years to come.
Hi, I'm Diane Delosier, and I'm the featured artist. My first painting I would like to discuss is the York Rail Trail. It's a watercolor. It's taken from a photograph of people walking down the rail trail as fall was beginning. The bottom print is on leaning trees. I had seen these leaning trees and it just made me feel so happy. This is the farmhouse in winter. It's a watercolor. The sky in winter has a little bit of yellow in it. It's not gray, and it's taken from a farm in the York County area. The fourth painting I wanted to discuss. It is taken from a plein air sitting at the Security Park. It was done in the summer, and I was seated outside. There's picnics that are held in this little covered pavilion. And then there's a handmade bridge that walks over the creek. But this is also in watercolor. My scenes are from the York County area, showing the beauty of the county in different seasons.
So that was our tour of Landreth Seed. We certainly learned a lot from them, and we hope that you did too. Back here with John, and one of the words that we keep hearing around in the local farming community is CSA. Could you please explain to people what CSA is and how it works?
CSA stands for Community Supported Agriculture, and in most cases the customer will pay a fee at the beginning of the season in exchange for a share, what we call, of the produce for that season. So the farmer benefits from getting some early income at the beginning of the season when he needs it, and the customer benefits by getting a regular, reliable supply of fresh produce throughout the season. It's really a partnership between the farm and the consumer.
And the consumer, I'm assuming, would save money by going into this process?
Yeah, definitely. If you look at, generally if you look at what you get per week through the CSA and you kind of weigh that versus what you would pay market price for that, it's generally a savings. And you get a nice selection, a nice variety, and you know you're going to have a reliable supply of food every week.
And I guess the spring would be the time to become a shareholder in a CSA.
Yeah, now's the time. Most CSAs do have deadlines to sign up, and most of the ones, York County is pretty lucky. We have a number of them around here, and they typically fill up. So it's good to get in early and contact your local CSA.
How could someone find out where a CSA is?
The easiest thing to do is to go to a website called Local Harvest. It's localharvest.org.
Okay.
And you essentially put in your zip code, and it gives you the list of all the local CSAs near you.
We were at Miller Plant Farm, which is going to be starting their first year as a CSA, and we shot some footage there, and let's take a look at that.
This lettuce here, some of this lettuce will actually make it to President Obama. The gentleman who grows this lettuce then takes it to a market in Washington, D.C., and the chef from the White House buys from him. He buys lettuce and other items from him that is used in the White House. This here is what I call a high-end lettuce. It's expensive. A common lettuce seed is maybe 1/10 of a penny, and this is 2 cents a seed. The material they use to pelletize this is calcium based, like a lime product. It's like an M&M. When that gets wet, it goes to mush right away. When I get rolling, I can sew about 2 a minute, 30 seconds. Probably takes me 10 minutes to hand sew a tray. So yeah. There's a higher profitability in the greenhouse than it is in farming. My grandfather used to always say, we farm until we run out of greenhouse money. This is called stage 1. Stage 1 is actually just the splitting of the seed and starting to emerge from the ground. This is when they all emerge. This is called stage 2. And they'll also stay at a fairly warm temperature. Try to hold 65, 70 degree soil temperature for a few more days. Still has tube heat underneath to keep temperatures moderated at night. And you can see these are pepper plants. They're all slowly coming up. Pepper plug takes about 4 weeks from the day I sow it till we transplant. These plants will be sold to the final customer, whether it be a gardener or farmer, about mid-April. Stage 3, which is where we start to cool them a little bit. We'll drop nighttime temperature to 60 degrees, daytime to 70 to 75 degrees, and harden it off a little bit. Then we'll actually go a few days to a week in what we call stage 4, which is probably 55 to 58 degree nights, 65 to 70 degree days, and that's just to harden the plant so that when we go to transplant, The plants aren't tender and they don't get damaged. On an average day with a full transplant crew, we go through about 50,000 plants a day. We have a scout, the best scout in the state, comes every week, and she scouts insects. She's also up to date on a lot of diseases. So, you know, everything is checked. These beds are new in the last few years in the industry, and they're water saving. They're called ebb and flow beds. And I'll show you, we sit the products on the flats. When it's time to water, instead of traditionally taking a hose and watering over the top, the bed will start to fill with water. And there's a tub underneath that has some fertilizer in it. The water has some fertilizer in it, and that will slowly fill this bed up to about this layer. It takes about 10 minutes to fill the bed. Then the pump will turn off and the water will start to drain out. In that amount of time, the water will come up from the bottom of these and soak up. And what that does is it saves you water. We also had some problems in the past with our wells, with running too many hoses at one time, using too much water at one time. Now the water's stored underneath the bed ahead of time, and we've eliminated a lot of our problems with that. You'll see it there now, it's starting to drain. So it goes back in. They're run off a timer. You can actually be at home and the timer be set, and they'll turn on and water when you're not here. It takes the average person about 4 hours to water. Now it's about 15 minutes. Also cuts down on disease problems. It lowers the moisture, lowers the humidity, and has really helped out a great deal that way. You know, it's a long-term payoff.
We have 2,500 square feet of solar panels, and they produce roughly 30 to 50% of our electric use here at this site. If it's not garden related, it's made by someone local. That's our focus. A fella in North York County makes these. They're made out of seeds, okay, and they'll take up to 400 degrees. They're hot plates. We have some pies, breads. We do our own sugar cakes from scratch. And this year we're going to be doing one item every week, totally from scratch. If you want any coffee, the coffee's always free here in the morning. We have a weather station in the back on a pole that measures the wind velocity and temperature and all that, so it knows which vents to open to maximize the ventilation. It's all computer run. Our bathrooms very nice.
Did you? Oh.
Because we know that women shop where bathrooms are nice. They know where all the nice bathrooms are.
Welcome to the Central Link, a new TV program that will air on White Rose Community Television, reaching almost 100,000 York County homes. Our program will be unique and dedicated to the local area. This weekly show will cover all the good, sustainable, healthy, and beneficial things this area has to offer, with topics such as organic growing and living, gardening, health, better living, and various education on these topics and more, inspiring one person or one family at a time that there are better ways available and teaching them how. Events, products, local markets, and activities, just to name a few, will also be highlighted. With support from the community, sponsors, donors, and grants, we know this program can strive to make local change for many years to come.
Health Tip of the Week, sponsored by Sunnywald Natural Foods. Got the winter blues?
Dark, cloudy days have you down? It's nearly impossible to get enough vitamin D from the sun.
Be sure to supplement with natural vitamin D3. Vitamin D3, known as the sunshine vitamin. Health Tip of the Week, sponsored by Sunnywald Natural Foods.
Good health comes from the farm, not the pharmacy.
So that was Miller's Plant Farm, where we actually got to see a seed transform into a plant. So that's another option for people who might not be comfortable with getting seeds and germinating them on their own. You can instead buy a plant and transplant it into the ground yourself. But John, I was thinking, where can someone get produce this time of year?
Well, I think for one thing, it's important for people to realize they should eat seasonally and not maybe expect a tomato in December.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But there is produce available locally. There's markets, and there's also farmers out there that will extend their season by doing greenhouse growing or hoop houses, or even row covers in the soil itself. So there's options out there.
As a matter of fact, we visited a place called Brogue Hydroponics in Brogue, and they grow through the winter using greenhouses, hoop houses, and some very interesting techniques. Let's take a look. I am standing in a greenhouse at Brogue Hydroponics with Bob Kilgore, the owner and operator. And it's winter. Look at all this food.
So Bob, what exactly is hydroponics?
Hydroponics means water working. And basically all hydroponics does is imitates the natural process by which plants feed. What we do is we just skip the soil and we dissolve the nutrients directly into the water, and then we feed the plants that way. Mizuna, arugula, over there we have Swiss chard, bull's blood red beets, tatsoi, red mustard. All of this stuff gets cut in the baby stage and then washed and mixed and put into our salad mix. This is the floating bed method, or a pond method, where you have 4 to 6 inches of water here, nutrient solution. The plants are in styrofoam or some kind of a floating medium, and they just sit and the roots go down into the nutrient solution there. These are primroses. They're a cool weather plant. They're a perennial. They grow outside. We sell them because they're beautiful to put in the houses, you know, on your windowsill in a bright sunny spot. The flowers also are edible, so we sell them to the chefs who's using the garnishes for the salads. Aquaponics is a marriage between aquaculture and hydroponics. And you use the fish nutrients, the fish waste, to feed the plants. In this aquaponics system, we have these 3 beds here. So it's basically an ebb and flow system. Sequentially, each bed is filled up to the top and then slowly drained to convert the fish waste into nitrates, which feeds the plants. Coming to see us, and you can find our products at the New Eastern Market in York every Friday, the Central Market in York on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturday. And beginning at the first weekend in May, we're at the Harrisburg Farm Show parking lot, Farmers Market on Tuesdays and Fridays.
So that was Brogue Hydroponics. That was a very interesting way to grow food that many of us may have not even known about existed, and it's right here in York County, in our local area.
This time of year, the winter months when not much is going on in the garden, it's a great time to test your soil. Here at Miller Plant Farm, we like to give advice for fertilizing, but without knowing what's in your ground now, it's very hard for us to do. This is a very inexpensive test. We don't charge for them, but now when they send it in, there's a charge. You follow the directions, tells you how full to make the bag, you send it off, and you get a complete report that gives you exact directions on all 3 major elements plus lime and to adjust your pH. It's money well spent. You don't have to apply fertilizer when you may not necessarily need it. So I really recommend this. I think it's a great time of the year to do this ahead of planting. My name's Dave Miller from Miller Plant Farm, and thanks for joining us for your garden tip of the week.
Hi, I'm Jess with Racehorse Productions. Do you need a high-quality professional video for your business, product, service, event, or something else? We at Racehorse Productions have a motto: if you can dream it, we can film it. For all your video needs, give us a call. We would love to work with your idea or help create one for you. Thank you, and remember, if you can dream it, we can film it.
So John, thanks for being with us.
Yeah, my pleasure.
I appreciate you joining us for our first show.
Absolutely.
And is there anything else that you want to mention about the Horn Farm?
Well, we've got a lot of stuff coming up this year. Like I said, our classes, March 24th is our garden design class. We'll be running our farm stand again this year. The farm stand opens May 19th, which is a Saturday, and it'll be open Wednesdays and Saturdays, and you can come and buy produce from my farm, Sterling Farm, as well as the other 3 small farmers that are farming at the Horn Farm.
Great.
You can get more information about both of those things and everything else on our website, which is hornfarmcenter.org. And also look us up on Facebook.
Very good. All right. Thanks again.
Yeah, thanks.
And thank you for joining us for our very first episode. Hope to see you again.